when I came. Somebody was there.
Oh,
Grady
great.
Little was there.
We're live. Yeah. Okay, well, hello, good morning, and welcome to the Norfolk County Commissioners meeting for November 27th, 2024. We're having this at 11 o'clock today because we have Thanksgiving tomorrow. We start a little bit early. Pursuant to the executive order on remote participation on Wednesday, March 29th, 2023, Governor Healy signed into law Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, an act making appropriations for fiscal year 2023, which includes a 2-year extension of the option for public remote meetings by suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general law, chapter 30A, section 20. That action was effective immediately, extending the current option for remote meetings through March 31st, 2025. Our chairman, Joseph Shea, is remote, and he's still the acting chairman for this meeting, but I'll be running the meeting from the office because I'm here. It's a little bit harder to run it when you're remote. So call to order and roll call. Chairman Shea, present.
Present.
Okay, and Commissioner Stady, present.
Yes, present. Yep.
Okay, and I am present. So we do have a quorum and we're all present. We're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance now. Richard, do you want to lead us?
Sure. You want it? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Item 3 is for an executive session. And is there a need for an executive session today?
No, sir.
Okay, terrific. Okay, we're going to go into the minutes. Oh, Joe, do we have your permission to use your signature stamp on your votes?
Yes.
Terrific. Okay. Minutes. The first is the open session meeting for November 20th, 2024 for approval. Do I hear a motion?
Sure. Motion to approve?
I'll second.
Okay, motion's made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimous. Okay, and so the next is minutes for the executive session meeting for November 20th, 2024 for approval. Do I hear a motion?
I move approval, Mr. Acting Chairman, that we approve the minutes of the executive session, but not to be released until such time as the chair declares they are, can be released. Well, the matter is no longer litigated.
Okay, Joe, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, unanimous. Okay, so the next one was an executive session for November 6th, 2024 for approval. And those weren't quite ready, so we've been asked to table those.
Okay, I didn't see it. Okay,
Okay.
good.
Okay, next is.
Do we need a motion to table?
Yeah, motion to table,
I
please.
move, we table approval, because it's on the agenda, of the meeting minutes of November 6th to a later date. That's all.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, unanimous. Okay, next is 5 appointments. John, do we have any appointments today?
No, sir.
Okay, number 6, public comment. Has anyone asked you about public comment today?
No, sir.
Okay, is anyone, as Joe would say, is anyone in Zoom land wish to make any public comment today? Okay, all right, hearing no requests for public comment, we'll close that section. Moving on to 7, old business. Do we have any old business today?
No, sir.
Terrific. Okay, personnel matters. Number 8. Richard, do you want to read them?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm going to take them one. I didn't look through all these, but I'll just take them as they come. They're all at the Norfolk Agricultural School. All these motions are for matters at the Aggie School. All right,
Okay.
first, move approval of notice of contingent employment for Randolph Howard of Walpole as a substitute instructor at the rate stated effective date 12/2/24. So moved.
Joe, second.
I'll second it. Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Next,
Unanimous.
move approval of notice of contingent employment of Karen Powers of Stoughton as a substitute instructor at the rate stated effective date 12/2/24. So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimous. Okay.
Next, may move approval of notice of appointment of Thomas Lombardi of Walpole, Mass. as a CAP worker at the rate stated effective 12/2/24. So moved.
And it says
Second.
replacing Betty Duquette. I just like to say that there's no replacing Betty Duquette.
As I say, you can't replace Betty, but.
Okay, motion made and seconded.
Good luck.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Okay, great.
Next, move approval of notice of appointment of William Dakota of North Attleboro as a custodian, and that is for the rate stated replacing Chris Gill. So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimous.
Next, move approval of the name change for Jessica Kozel, formerly Lemis of Mansfield, at the rate stated, effective 11/22/24. So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimous.
Next, move approval of notice of resignation of Roberto Crognali of Walpole as a sub-instructor at the rate stated, effective 11/22/24. So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Unanimous.
Move approval of the notice of resignation of Alicia Hartelman of Mansfield as a sub-instructor at the rate stated, effective date 11/22/24. So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
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 I move
Opposed?
approve-
Unanimous.
Oh, sorry. Move approval of notice of resignation of Kevin Kulig of Foxborough as a sub-instructor at the rate stated, effective 11/22/24. So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
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 And I can take the
Opposed?
next.
Unanimous.
I'll move approval of resignation of Kate Lanza of Rentham, Mass, and Mary Alice Howard of Holliston, Mass, both as substitute instructors, both for the rate stated and both for 11/22/24. So moved. For both.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimous.
Then the next group is in the maintenance department. I move approval on notice of appointment of Clifford Lovelace of Mattapan, Mass, as a foreman plumber at the rate stated, and its effective date would be 12/2. What's that, next week? Yeah, 12/2/24.
Yeah.
And he's replacing James Regan. So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. And
Did John McGowan want to say anything about that? Or is that,
is John on?
John, are you on? I thought I saw him dialed in. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I'm on.
Oh, do you have any comments on that, John?
No,
Clifford?
I believe he'll be a good asset to the Norfolk County. He seems like a nice guy.
Big shoes to fill replacing Jim, though, don't you think?
Yeah, it's kind of tough to replace him, but
Yeah, but that's good. All right.
we'll give him a shot.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, John.
Same to you, all you
Okay.
commissioners. Yep.
So the next two items were with the registry of deeds, and I know that there was an issue with those personal papers. And John, do you want to talk about that?
Briefly, there's a memo in your packets, Commissioner, from the Human Resources Director about these two particular requests regarding the approach taken by the Registry of Deeds in almost all facets of the employee handbook relative to the hiring process. It was not conformed. We're requesting that the commissioners table these requests until such time as the Registry of Deeds conforms with the employee handbook and the hiring process later. Details are within your packet.
Oh, that's something else. Okay.
I'll make a motion that we table two items, notice of promotion at the Registry of Deeds of Eugenia Sanchez of Norwood as principal clerk, replacing Margaret Brennan, and notice of promotion of Cheryl McElman of Dorchester, Mass, as head clerk, replacing Margaret Comer, until such time as all applicable processes are met and we go forward. And I might say that under normal conditions, we could normally go forward today.
Got a second?
Mr. Chair.
For discussion. Wait, let me get the motion out. Second for the discussion purposes of Chair Chase. Question through Peter, which, is this the information
It
I'm
is.
supposed to be looking at? Okay.
It is.
You know what, as I say, I looked at this very quickly this morning.
Okay. So motion's been made and seconded.
When it's appropriate, Mr. Chair, may I address it?
Yeah. So motion's been made and seconded for discussion purposes.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Richard,
Thank you, Peter.
you want to keep going? Or?
Yeah, if I could, just very quickly, I'll just say quickly, I don't think it's a reflection. I'm assuming these are the candidates. I've never met you. I don't know who you were, and I'm pleased to see you here. This is not a reflection on you. Okay, I want you to understand that. So this is not something you take personal. Our action at this moment is because we have a new handbook And because of the book that we voted, there's certain procedures have to be followed. And it seems, unfortunately, we still have a disagreement, and I'm sure Billy, Register O'Donnell will be given a chance to speak. But there's a certain procedure to follow now with the new handbook. And we have to make sure that's being followed. So apparently, from Michelle,
Yes.
Michelle Lamborghini is our HR director, she has advised us not to go forward because certain things weren't followed. So until those things are done, we can't really go forward. Again, it's not personal. We want to go forward with it. We want to work together, but we've got to get this kind of worked out. And that's all I'm going to say at the moment, other than, I'm looking at this right now. But I'll follow the chair's lead. Sorry, Peter.
Okay. All right.
It's
And
a big list here.
Reggie, you wanted to say a few words?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hello, all.
Acting chair. He's still the chair. He's still in charge.
Right. Got a lot of chairs here.
Yeah, we do.
Listen, a lot of this, does repeat itself, but I'm here on behalf of the employees. Promotions have been cut out of the registry budget, so when they come up, people deserve promotions.
Sure.
It's busier. There's been budget cuts at the registry. There's been staff cuts, so people are working. And you got to understand, the union, people in the union and the union leadership say, post these positions, get the jobs filled, follow the collective bargaining agreement. And that's where we're at. November 6th, I came over here specifically about these two promotions and requisition, and hand delivered and spoke to you people about trying to have a cooperative process and try to move this thing forward.
Right.
I brought the postings, I brought the job descriptions, and, again, I don't know what was done by the human resource person with respect to those job descriptions and postings. Is it possible to get a copy of this memo? It's public record. If we can get a copy sent.
Should get it, right?
No objection.
Okay, that's great. So, I mean,
Yeah.
would it be okay to get one right now? Can we someone run out and get a copy right now?
Look to the chair.
I can give mine. Let me get a copy.
Oh, no.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
We'll take mine. And then
I mean,
at least
as long as you get
it's
one.
basically a checklist. I'm
Okay.
sure I'll get one.
All right.
But I'm just seeing this, this morning here. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah.
Thank you
So
very much, Michelle.
The issue, and again, for the record on that, this was sent on November 6th. I don't know what was done since November 6th.
Right.
I also came over here on November 20th,
Right.
and Director Cronin was CC'd, you all were, that, we have under the collective bargaining agreement, it gets posted, there's 8 calendar days to post. Applications come in, people are expecting to get a job, and we have to make a decision within 5 calendar days. That's in the collective bargaining agreement. And again, Director Cronin and Human Resource Director Labadini were invited to come over to the interviews that were taking place on that, on the day that, the employees were coming in to be interviewed. What it really comes down to is I keep, the registry is being told we're not following processes. And and I recognize these processes are different. You just signed a bunch with the Aggie School. Your handbook doesn't apply to the Aggie School.
Right.
Your handbook doesn't apply to a lot of the golf course, so we're told, a lot of the golf course appointments. But the handbook has been really used, as the reason to not give deserving people like the 2 people before us that do a great job promotions. So it really goes back to, respectfully, Commissioner Collins, on May 22nd, when we did the land court promotions, you made a statement. I think it was a prepared text or a prepared statement. It might have come from Director Cronin. I don't know, that we didn't follow the process. So I came over here on June 5th and said, look, from my perspective, the collective bargaining agreement is still in place. The union leadership informed me just a few days ago that the collective bargaining agreement is in place. And on June 5th, and it was in the minutes, Commissioner Stady, I walked out thinking I was going to get a copy of that opinion where Director Cronin says that the handbook beats or trumps or is more powerful than the collective bargaining agreement. And again, I know I'm supposed to be management, but I'm also trying to follow the law, that the collective bargaining agreement is there for a reason. The union workers do a great job. And again, that was on June 5th. It was in the minutes. And in my letter on November 6th, when I came over, I try to refresh people and say, look, where's a copy of that? And the reason I asked for it then, and I didn't get it on June 5th when the minutes say, Commissioner Stady said to give him the minutes, and I did walk away to get that opinion that the collective bargaining agreement no longer wins.
Let me interrupt you
Yep.
politely, because that was a subject of some, did he get a copy of what we said we could, in terms of that discussion?
No, sir.
And
I thought we had resolved that something,
No, sir.
really?
Correct.
I'll talk about that later, or
The
something.
register is in possession of a letter from the chairman that indicates the necessary next steps before and if any release of privileged information is provided. We have not received a response from the register relative to that letter sent by the chairman.
was that the September 11th letter or this most recent one that just came a couple of days ago?
It did not come a couple of days ago. It came a week
No, it
ago.
was in June, I believe. I apologize because I'm not in the office, but it was
Yeah.
in June. It is
So 1
on
week.
file
No,
there.
sir. Mr. Chairman, I beg to differ. You sent him a letter in
In
June,
July,
letter last week as well.
Last week.
correct, but
His
going
letter.
back to my original letter, we haven't heard anything.
But
That's correct.
I haven't
Okay.
gotten a legal opinion because, Director Cronin, I remember the June 5th meeting. It got, there was some discussion where he said the handbook beats the collective bargaining agreement. That was back on June 5th. I'd just like to see that agreement because this is repeating itself. Because as far as I'm concerned, show me where the collective bargaining agreement loses to the handbook. And the reason I mentioned that on September 11th, I was copied a letter that Chairman Shea wrote. And again, it said that the collective bargaining agreement, in essence, loses to the handbook rules that yet come up. And I'm just asking for that legal opinion. And again, in the September 11th letter, they finally did give those.
Those we had talked
Now you open it up if you do that.
about. We had a limited, this is one executive, we had, there was a limited way.
You can't talk about it.
I know we can't talk about it. Oh, see, if you're getting into the areas that we really can't discuss in public session, but that it was an area that, I would say, we reflected on. I don't know how to say it. I'll get in trouble. I can't invoke I don't want to violate the privilege,
Yeah.
but maybe we have a little bit of misunderstanding. But I'm not cognizant, I'm not, let's say, ignorant of your request. It is a subject that is something we're not clear of. But I think the bottom line was, I understand what you're saying. You're trying to say if the collective bargaining agreement trumps the book, you got to follow the collective bargaining agreement, correct?
Correct.
Right.
And what
Whereas if the book trumps it, you got to follow the book.
Sure, and
Right.
and we've tried to follow the book. I know the last letter Chairman Shea sent a week ago said, oh, the entry level position. Well, that entry level position, we brought everything. We had interviewed, we did put it out on Indeed, posted it, did all that information. We came over here on September 11th and you tabled it. And I'm speaking about Carol Graham, an entry level position. And those papers didn't get signed to October 30th. So from my perspective, from the registry's perspective, from the workers' perspective, it has to be to wait almost 8 weeks for that appointment to take place. And again, I think these employees deserve the promotions
But
in a
if
timely
if
manner.
the director or the chair on the advice of counsel says that legal counsel has advised us that the book trumps the bargaining agreement, shouldn't that be sufficient? The burden's on us.
On June 5th, we had that discussion. And again, I don't know what goes on at your executive sessions, but you had said, and I walked out of here thinking we are going to get a copy of the legal agreement. But if, I really would like to see that legal agreement. Technically, I know the Director Cronin at times thinks he runs the registry, but we're management still. And we'd like, if there's a letter that affects the registry and the employees, if we could get it. And the other issue I just want to bring up, to me, it's disappointing that every time we have this, it's the registry is not following the rules, or the registry is failing to comply with human resources. Just tell us what to do so these people can get the jobs. But it seems, what happened?
But we are.
What happened on November 6th, respectfully?
We're telling you to follow the book, follow the handbook. And the handbook lays out, if you take a look afterwards, please, take a look at the checklist. The checklist tells you how to follow it. and you're an intelligent man, right? You just follow that guidelines, and then once you follow it and everybody's complied, people get appointed. And I don't see what the big deal is, unless you're really sincerely afraid of violating the collective bargaining agreement.
Well,
Because I mean, no, because if I can't, there's certain things we can say, right, and things we can't say. So we're kind of in a bind, as always.
but on November 6th, when I came over,
Yes, sir.
the promotions were notified, not only here, County Director Cronin, the requisition forms you require went to the human resource person.
Okay.
Well, then how come it didn't get, if they want to, if it comes down to, they want to post it as opposed to us, we post it. That's what the collective bargaining agreement says. Go over and post it if that's what's going to make it better. But what happened since November 6th when I was over here? Did anyone post it? Did anyone draft the job descriptions that we gave over here for the promotions? Did anyone come over to interview these people when we were interviewing them? So, these are questions, again, that I think,
Historical questions or something?
well, I think they should be answered, but more importantly, I think they should be answered not on behalf of the registry,
All right, let's write-
but the
You're
employees.
running the meter, Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah, the employees, deserve the promotions.
But again, that could be the crux of the problem. I think it's saying HR should be the driving force on that. It almost sounds like, I mean, okay, I'm just gonna go back to my old days of being a selectman in Canton. I mean, if we had an opening, right, the selectman would talk to the HR person and say, hey, we're looking for a blah, blah, so, and then they run with the ball. They advertise it. They do, not selectman's office. Selectman may hire it, right? But the HR posts it, puts it in the paper, does all these kind of things like that to make sure it's consistent throughout the town. And that's
This
what they
is a
were trying to do.
promotion. That we're not, we jumped through hoops for that entry level thing.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish it was quicker. We had done everything work. We had to wait 8 weeks. But these are promotions. The only people eligible for these promotions are the union employees. So I have union employees tell me, hey, there's vacancies, post these positions. I have the union leadership, your leaders saying, oh no, the collective bargaining agreement is still in place.
So John, okay, that's maybe the light's going on in Marblehead. Does the book differentiate between internal candidates and external?
No.
Does it say, like, for example, if they're already in the system,
No.
they're already here in the Norfolk County, does it then defer to the department head? Forget Bill. Could
No.
be any department. No,
No.
it still has to be followed.
Correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
All right.
Okay, and you wanted to say something, John?
Do a couple things. First of all, Commissioner Collins, through you and to the register, I just want to remind the register as an elected official, you've sat at this table many times, and I'm going to just warn you today, please be mindful of your language towards me. You mentioned something a moment ago that was blatantly wrong. I am not trying to run the registry. When you make remarks like that, they are demeaning to my reputation, they're wrong, and they contribute to a negative dialogue. So please watch your mouth.
I agree.
Number two,
I agree.
he has been notified multiple times in writing how to follow this handbook. Never have I said that the handbook trumps the collective bargaining agreement. It does not. It does not. The handbook plays very well with the collective bargaining agreement. He has been notified about that multiple times in writing. The union that is at the center of this has members, some of them are behind you, who are being held hostage by the registrar's inability to handle this collaboration between the handbook and the collective bargaining agreement. And finally, I just want to remind the commissioners that the handbook has been adopted by the very union that he's trying to say right now is telling him to proceed with his approach.
Okay.
It's very simple. It does not require a lot of extra work, but it is a little bit more involved because we're trying to centralize and streamline the hiring process. Thank you for your time.
Before, I know you want to go back on this,
Yeah,
but I really, so you said a lot
Well,
before.
the
You said-
conduct goes 2 ways. I
Well,
mean,
no, let me-
Director Cronin
no, no,
has
no, let-
retaliated against my
Bill, I'm the
staff
chairman.
and me.
Bill,
and
I'm the chairman. Let me
his
just say a
conduct
few
is
things, all
unacceptable.
right?
Let Peter talk.
Sure.
We've handled this a bunch of times, and this has been an issue for you for some time, right? We get that. And there's a process that can be followed every time. And recently, your office sent over some positions to be filled, and the process was followed. For a while, it wasn't followed. Then a few positions, the process was followed. That was all set. And now we're back into not following the process again. If we just follow the process, the appointments that you're requesting, we're not going to hold those up. But
That's why I
but you
came
have to
over.
follow the process.
But I came over here November 6th and said, here's what we're trying to do. So what more can we do than that? You know, we sent the requisitions over, we did things, and I just want to get the positions filled. So did Director Cronin, a human resource director Labadini, put any things in place, whether it's job descriptions, things that we had already done? And we posted it. We have to post it. If they want to do it, they could have done it.
Okay,
But-
hold on, let's get to it. I'm gonna go down the thing there. So you notified HR that there was a vacancy. You said you came over with a bunch of stuff.
And
Right, I mean,
between coming over
in
here
your own words,
and
you
his
said, I came
emails,
over here with
yeah.
a bunch of
What,
stuff.
what I handled
And I'm
it
not
in
being
November
argumentative.
6th.
I'm trying to solve this once and for all. So you came over with material and said, here we
I
go.
hand delivered it to you.
Okay, and you submitted
And
it.
CC'd the
Did you
director.
complete a requisition form to HR?
That was emailed.
Okay, all right. So then you got, now HR drafts the posting and HR prepares the job description.
Did they?
I don't know. I'm asking now, is that something like in the past, pre the new book, is that something you did? Did you actually do that?
Right, but that's why I brought it to you and give to them, because even the other postings, they'll come, and ask what our descriptions are and things. So
But-
that's what I brought over.
But look-
And if they wanted to retype it or add things,
Yeah,
then
but look what it says. It going back to what our director was saying where we're trying to go as a county, which is a good thing. We're trying to work together. And you said, look, number 4 says, HR prepares the job in collaboration with the registry.
But
So
what
in other words,
happened
it's not
since
going to be
November
us,
6th?
it's not going to be you. We're working together. And by doing that, I wish I could say more, but I can't. I really can't. But I mean, that's what we should be doing. We should be looking at how can we do this better? Maybe we're doing things not the right way, or maybe we're doing things 90%, but maybe there's room for improvement. I think our goal is trying to make improvement and make the county better.
And that's
of the
why
people
I'm
we
here.
serve.
These people
You know?
deserve their promotions. The union contract says so.
Yep.
But you just pointed, let's just go to number 3 and 4. HR drafts the job posting. HR prepares the description. I brought them over here November 6th.
Okay.
What's been? That's why I brought them over. Here's the descriptions. Do what you got to do so these people can get promoted. And again, I draw a distinction. It's a promotion, and they are internal candidates. And my understanding of the collective bargaining agreement is only internal candidates can be allowed to get these jobs.
Well-
But anyway,
Well, let's back up, right? So
Yeah.
you did the registry did a lot of these things, and they did it on their own, and they did it without input from HR. So why don't we start now? And the registry, you can send over whoever you want from the registry. They can work with HR and start at the beginning,
Yeah.
and we'll start at the beginning.
I just want to get it done.
Yeah.
Why on November 6th when these were
I'm
brought
not worried
over?
about November 6th.
I mean,
That's
well,
old
So
news.
something
Well,
happened.
Let's start at
And
the beginning
that's-
and get your people hired.
You made your point.
I made my point because I keep hearing the registry's not following the process,
Okay.
and we're trying.
Well,
And there's union rules.
Well,
Now it's
So-
like, what's today? The day before Thanksgiving? Is that? I don't know.
Well,
Day it
I'd be
is.
thankful to get that legal opinion. In the spirit of Thanksgiving, I'd
Well,
be thankful
maybe
for
like
that
Christmas.
legal opinion.
so let's start again.
I think, yeah.
And have your person have the person that is working with you, have one person come over and meet with the
Well, that
HR
might
person and walk through these steps
Yeah.
one at a time, and the HR will do it just as they do with every other department.
And I say politely, and I mean it as a commissioner, okay? I like the idea of working together because, again, it might be something we see or you see that you may want to just make it a little different in terms of the actual job description. You know your people. I'm not going to tell you who to. You know your people. You run a good registry. You do. It's one of the best in the area, okay? I don't know, Buckley does a good job in Plymouth, but we'll argue with that. But I'm saying the point is just that we're trying to follow a guide, a book here. We're trying to follow a new procedure. We're making a mountain out of a molehill to some degree. This can be done. This can be done. It can. I'm sorry, John. You want to say
I just want to point out for the commissioner's information, in this case, the register is telling you that all the information came over on November 6th for requisition and so forth. The position was already posted at the registry at that point.
So we just have to start at the beginning.
Well, just go over and repost it. I mean,
Let's start at the beginning.
I
You
hear what you're
send- you
saying.
send
We
your-
just want to get the people hired.
The registry
And
sends
promote.
one person over to talk to HR, and they start at the very beginning of the process. You have to start at the beginning. So have one person from the registry come over and talk to HR, start at the beginning. We'll do what we have to do to fill the positions, and we'll fill them.
whatever you want to
And,
send.
and they're going to go by what's in the union contract as far as the posting deadlines and all that?
It's the union contract and the handbook together.
That's correct.
Is that right?
That's correct.
That's what it is.
That's
right?
correct.
And is it going to be sooner than when we had everything over here, May 11th? It took 8 weeks
When do you
for
wanna-
that entry level.
You-
I think these people deserve it in 2 weeks,
Is Michelle on the call?
Hold on a second, hold on a second.
as soon as
So
possible.
send a person from the registry to talk to HR, and we'll start the process. Okay, a motion's been made and seconded to hold these two personnel papers. All in favor?
Aye.
Did Joe vote? I can't-
I'm sorry, Joe, was it
Yes,
to hold it to
aye, aye.
Joe, I'm sorry, was it hold it or to reject it?
Hold to a
Okay.
further date.
Okay, all right. To be held to a further date. A motion then
Yeah,
made,
that's fine.
seconded.
Yeah, yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Happy Thanksgiving.
You
everybody.
too. Thank you, Bill. Thank you.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much, ladies. Good to see you. Okay. All right. Well done, Peter.
Milestones.
Yes. Let's see. Find out. What's going on? Oh,
Patrick
milestone.
J. Collins,
Oh,
10 years of service as ground supervisor foreman at Norfolk County Agricultural High School.
Amazing. Oh,
We give our commendations.
is that another relative of yours?
No, not a relative, no.
Kudos to Patrick. We know he does a great job, and it's always culminated when we go to graduation every year.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
The team down, Peter's team, Pete Murphy's team does a great job, and
They
Peter's
do, they
a
really
do.
do.
They're
main
fabulous.
cog.
Yeah, even today it looked great for that little ceremony outside. It
Oh,
was very-
yes.
They do a great job. They really do.
His certificate will be available for you to sign at the end of the meeting.
Okay,
Great.
great.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah,
Here it comes now.
He's a
Here
good
it
local
comes.
kid too, while we're speaking so highly of him.
Thank you. Do we need a motion on this or no?
Uh,
We just recognize it, right?
Yeah, it's just,
Okay.
yeah, we just recognize them.
Do you mind if I sign right now?
Yeah, sure, go ahead and sign. As soon as you're done signing, we'll go into the payroll and expense warrants for approval.
All right, here you go. All right, so we're gonna go to the next item, number 9, correct?
Yes,
All right, I will move the following through the chair. The warrant list for 11/27/24. Number 1, 25-21, move approval of payroll of the county, the amount of $149,191.70. So moved.
Joe, second.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, unanimous.
Yes, sir. Next, 25-21, parentheses 11, payroll of the school. You all right?
Yes.
Move a sum of $439,710.46. So moved.
Second. Oh, sorry,
Second.
Joe, second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries, right?
Wait, motion carries,
Right.
unanimous.
Next, for November 4, 25, the expense of the county, I move the approval of the sum of $47,511.05. So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
unanimous.
And the last one, Mr. Chair, I move approval of 25-05A, expense of the county, expense of the school, forgive me, $134,704.57. So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous. Oh, sorry, John, yes.
If I could, Commissioner Stady, we had a late ad for the ARPA warrant. It
Oh.
didn't make the list. If you wouldn't mind, could I add a friendly amendment to add the total of the ARPAs that are about to be before you?
Yeah, sure.
The total amount is 638,777.
Yeah.
0.23.
All right, I'll move the approval on the warrant for action by the commissioners for ARPA funds in the total amount of $638,777.23 for ARPA. So
Joe,
moved.
Seconded.
all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed,
We'll go
unanimous.
through each one in just a second.
Yeah.
to get to that.
Do I need to sign this too?
Yes, you have to sign all this.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. That's good.
So the next is number 10, report on American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. Mr. Cronin.
Thank you. Commissioners, over the last week, we've sent out letters to 5 communities that still have funds remaining that have not been sufficiently obligated. The towns of Brookline, Wellesley, Cohasset, Medfield, and Plainville all received letters indicating that if we don't have sufficient evidence in the portal of applications that can be approved under eligibility, the county will take steps to take any unspent or unobligated funds back.
What were those towns again, John? I'm sorry. Can you tell me them again?
Wellesley, Brookline,
Yep,
Cohasset, Medfield,
yep.
and Plainville.
Okay, thanks.
Plainville is getting their letter today.
Okay, thank you.
These communities all have some activity in the portal of different degrees of completeness. We're trying to expedite their efforts to comply and provide our auditor with requested information. We're hovering at around $5 million still unobligated. The number hasn't moved. This morning, you approved just over $600,000 of that. That's nice. But there are some very large balances within these departments, I should say communities, that need immediate attention. So we've given them end dates of December 6th. And I expect to hear from the town administrators before then about how they're progressing towards achieving goals. So we'll keep you informed, but it's, nobody wants to take money back, but we will not give money back to the federal government. We're going to assign it somewhere where it can be used. So we'll keep you informed on how that trends.
Do we have, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Mayor, do we have towns that maybe are looking for a little extra and with applications in? So if they say those towns don't use the money, can we get going so that we don't lose that money?
We do. Previously, I informed the commissioners that I believe as of, I think it was the middle of November, Clifton Larson has started to review several of those excess allotment applications. They proceeded to review them for eligibility. So if and when funds are, determined to be moving into those eligible grant applications, they can move quickly.
All right.
So yes. And
Great.
once those applications, by the way, we've alerted the towns also of this. Those applications that are excess capacity but have no funds, they live within the portal beyond December 31st as obligated or eligible grants. So after January 1st, I should say as of January 1st, any funds that may come back that for some reason were obligated, but the job didn't get done, or they budgeted $10 and it came in at $8, and now there's a $2 surplus, things like that. We can begin to move money to other eligible obligated funds, and these grants, these applications, I should say, will be in the bucket for eligible transfer. So
Great.
I believe we had somewhere in the vicinity of 18 applications last time I checked, and they're actively looking at them and get them ready for the end of the year. That's all I have on ARPA.
Okay, and we did the 11 ARPA warrants for approval.
So I wanted to go through those right now, if you don't mind, Peter. There's
Okay.
5 of them.
Sure.
The first was for the town of Brookline, $251,846.96. This was a reimbursement under the economic impact for the town of Brookline's grant administration and support staff to handle the administration of the ARPA funds.
Okay, and before you go to the next one, Richard, do you want to make a motion to support that?
No, we already did.
You already approved the total amount.
Right.
No,
We had to-
second.
we had to approve each one of them?
No,
Okay, all right, fine.
this is inclusive of
Yeah.
that.
We already voted the warrant.
Yes, you did.
Right,
Right.
okay,
That's what we
great,
usually
okay.
do. Yep. The next one is County of Norfolk, excuse me. This is our last application that we were pending. This is the $300,000 that we've planned for use at the tennis courts to rehabilitate the Wellesley Recreational Facility tennis courts.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay. Great.
Town of Medfield is next, $6,937.29. This is also a reimbursement for Zoom licenses associated with the town's use of that tool. The fourth one is the town of Dover. This completes Dover's use of funds, $32,942.98. This is for their public safety dispatch radio tower replacement, additional project work. Ironically, here we are 3 years later. Was, I believe, one of our first applications, either one or two, Wellesley Dover right there. And it was the radio tower grant in the first place. That was one of the first to get out. It'll be one of the last. This closes up that obligation. And then finally, the last one was for the town of Cohasset, $47,050. Cohasset wastewater treatment plant membrane replacement project.
That's
So,
great.
not big grants, but you can see they're small. They're closing out their obligations. Cohasset still has one large application in the portal that will close out their obligation. Brookline has a lot of work to do. We still have one more application from Wellesley that the town administrator, his executive director, has told us she's working on. I do have faith that that'll happen. Medfield in Plainville are both being handled by Jen Thompson, who has the plan in place. She just needs to move those applications into the portal with complete and thorough attachments for the auditors to review. So we're in good shape for Plainville and Medfield. I'm concerned about Brookline and Cohasset. So those are large numbers that still hang out there.
Yes, Richard.
Right, through the chair, would it be possible to provide myself or the board a list of those towns that have excess applications in?
No problem.
Just for, and I'm wondering, particularly Canton, that on the portal, I've been asking Charlie Duty, is that working its way through?
Yes,
I think it's for 50,000.
it reached eye level first thing this morning. Unfortunately, I couldn't get into the portal this morning, so I couldn't approve it.
But it's close to being approved.
You'll see it next week.
Okay, great. But I'd love that list to see who's in play there, which is great.
Yeah.
Always helpful as a commissioner.
That application from Canton is 96,918.
Oh, nice. Okay, good, good. That's good news. I see
But
that.
I'll email you the list of the excess.
I appreciate that. Great job. I had no questions.
That's Item 12, report from the procurement department, bid openings and contract awards.
None. We have a couple out on the street that we're waiting for closure on next week, and Maureen's preparing a new one for HVAC improvements at Rentham, Brookline, and Dedham, I believe. No, Rentham, Brookline, and Stoughton District Courts. So that is heading out onto the street. We expect to have some bids back by December 11th, I believe.
Is that for the HVAC?
It is. That's funded through ARPA. So I'm trying to line that up.
Were you aware that the HVAC at the Aggie came in more than what they thought they had the money for?
Yes,
So-
Mr. Wallace and I collaborated on how
Okay.
to close that, and I understand the trustees took action on it last week. So
Okay.
they're in good shape.
All right, but do you expect a similar problem with our buildings? I'm saying, is HVAC getting out of control, or you don't,
You don't know till the bids are in.
Yeah, right.
So I will say, aside from the one I just mentioned, the one
Yeah.
that's closing, I think it's December 4th, is for the Dedham District Court Building Management System. This controls HVAC systems. We put it out to bid. We didn't receive any responses the last time. We modified the bid, and I believe we have stronger interest this time. So we're expecting to see some bids next week. And according to our estimator associated with that project, we're in good shape to fund it. So
That's great.
that's what we're hanging our hat on anyways. But
Good.
you never
Good.
know.
Good.
As-
That's true.
As you know.
Good.
So the next item is 13, the Commissioner's Proclamation declaring Small Business Saturday within the county. Richard, I don't know if you want to read it, or I'll read it.
Oh, sure.
Okay, terrific.
All right. This is, when's this going to be? This Saturday?
This Saturday, Small Business Saturday, yes.
All right, so the commissioners would like to make the following proclamation and be glad to present it. Whereas Norfolk County, Massachusetts celebrates our local businesses and contributions they make to our local economy and community, and whereas, according to the United States Small Business Administration, there are 34.7 million small businesses in the U.S. Small businesses represent 99.7% of the first paid employees. Small businesses are responsible for 61.1% of the net new jobs created since 95, and small businesses employ 45.9% of the employees in the private sector. And whereas 68 cents of every dollar spent at a small business in the U.S. stays in the local community, and every dollar spent at a small business creates an additional 48 cents in local business activity as a result of employees and local business purchasing local goods and services. And whereas 59% of the U.S. consumers aware of Small Business Saturday shopped or ate at a small independently owned retailer or restaurant on Small Business Saturday 2023. That's pretty good. And whereas Norfolk County, Massachusetts supports our local business that creates jobs, boosts our local economy, and preserve our communities. And whereas advocacy groups, as well as public and private organizations across the country have endorsed the Saturday after Thanksgiving as Small Business Saturday. Now, therefore, we, the Commissioners of Norfolk County, Mass, do hereby proclaim November 30, 2024 as Small Business Saturday. And we urge the residents of our community in our communities across the country to support small businesses and merchants on Small Business Saturday, celebrating its 15th year in 2024, and shop small throughout the year. So
I'll
moved.
second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. Nicely
Thank
done,
you.
Richard.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Wonderful.
next one, fiscal year 14, fiscal year 23 annual audit for acceptance. We need a motion to accept.
I
That's
didn't
in the
issue
packet.
a report. That's seconded. Well, wait, who? Okay, move down. We need a motion to accept it.
Yeah, Joe, you
I'll
gotta
make a motion that we accept the fiscal year 23 annual audit as presented.
Okay, I'll second. Haven't confessed I haven't read the whole audit yet, but it's a lot there to go
Does it
over.
need to be,
We were looking for prompt action because it's a little late, but I understand if the commission wants more time, it is what it is.
No, I'll vote to accept it,
okay,
but I would love to have a chance to review it and talk about it. If there's a need to, in particular, I was looking at a couple of things I was looking at. We can talk about after.
We can certainly do that. Sure.
Okay,
It's up
is
to
that all
folks.
right?
all right, so a motion that made and seconded to accept the audit.
FY 23.
This is by Powers and Sullivan, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. FY 23.
Here's the class. Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay,
Just, you know.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, unanimous. Okay, and Richard, if you have any more questions, we'll just talk
No
about that next week.
problem, right? Next week? Okay,
That'd be
good.
great.
Thank
Do you
you. I
want it as an
appreciate
agenda item, Commissioner?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
It's just, I wanted, well,
We can cover it under old business.
you know what? Let's put it on the whole business. Any questions I may have on, it just gives us a chance in case there's something that I flag or I see it. I don't want to be called out of order, that's all.
Sure.
You know, I appreciate that.
Never.
Okay, all right.
Item 15 was the engineering department request for the Norfolk County Commissioners to vote to authorize the chairman to sign the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Department of Transportation Highway Division attestation sheets as they are received to confirm that the Mass DOT written instrument and plans have been filed in the county commissioner's records as per provisions within National Law Chapter 79 and Chapter 83. All right, Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick.
Let's hear from Patrick on this, but I think it's fine. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hi,
Peter.
Commissioners. Good afternoon. I just, since I was hired back in June of 21, I'd say we've done about 26 to 30 of these, and I have 3 more that are up. And I think I'm realizing that given how we've gone through these, I don't think the commissioners have voted negatively against any of the ones that you voted on in the last 3 years. And I think a easier process with less paperwork. I'm happy to do whatever way you're happy, but I think if we could take a generic vote, either in the fiscal year or calendar year, and allow the chairman to sign these,
somewhere. She just
to allow these
she knew you were coming.
sheets be signed by the chairman would move things along, and I could send a response back to Mass DOT without burdening you at each meeting to vote on them.
So what we could do in this one, this is kind of different because they're asking for the chairman to sign it, Patrick.
Yep.
So if Richard were to make such a motion and I were to second it, to have Joe sign as chairman, we can have Joe stamp sign it. We can do it that way.
Well, I can come in and sign it.
Do you need an actual signature? If you do, I can sign it now as the acting, whatever you want.
And acting chairman Collins. So this is like a generic request for like yearly on as they come in case by case, instead of presenting each one to you every
Okay.
time they come in. It's I don't have a specific one I want him to sign right now, just because they come in feast and famine. They come in randomly 2 or 3 at a
Okay.
time, and it seems kind of like
It's housekeeping.
Right.
yeah, this will streamline it. So as they come in,
All
I
right.
can.
So why don't we have
Wait,
Richard?
wait.
Richard could make the vote,
What?
the motion. If I were to second the vote, and Joe, you could run that part of it, and then as it comes forward in the future, that way Joe can just sign it without having to go through it before the county commissioners.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, wait. I got a question though.
Yeah.
Just back up for a second, please.
Go
Respectfully.
ahead.
If by doing this, Patrick and John as well, these things are under certain state CMRs and also state statute, like MGL Chapter 81, Section 5, and I'll jump out at me. Are we violating the spirit of those statutes by doing the streamline effect? I'm not taking a negative view. I'm just saying by doing this, would we be in violation of the process that's required for these kind of things?
So per Mass General Laws, Chapter 79 and Chapter 83, that Mass DOT is required to send us, the legal action has already occurred at the state level. The takings, the alterations, or the discontinuance have already occurred, and
Yeah.
they are required to send us notification of that. The county is required to file them in the county clerk's records, which is what we do at the engineering office. And
Okay.
then we are required to sign an attestation sheet and send it back. So we are right in sync with what's required at the county level, because the legal action's already occurred at the state level. So this just allows the chairman to sign each sheet as it comes in, and then I can send it back to the state as required.
Okay, so this isn't like the case where, for example, and recently we helped out the town of Stoughton.
No,
We did a layout or reverse layout or terminated a layout or whatever it was. That this is where they've done a taking, it's already happened, and they're
yes.
just saying, here it is, and you're saying you're signing off.
Yes, we're not signing off. We're
Not
signing.
signing.
We're
Just,
signing that we filed it in the county clerk's records and sending it back, certifying that it's been filed. We're not signing off on anything to do with the taking because it's done at the state level, and it has nothing to do with the county layout. So it's not under um, what we've done in local towns.
okay, that sounds good.
Okay,
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
all right.
Yep.
All
So
right.
you make the motion, I'll second it, and Joe, you can be
Oh,
the
let me
chair.
read,
Go
let me
ahead,
read
Joe.
it.
Go ahead, Joe.
Okay.
He wants to read it.
Per a request from Patrick Higgins of the Norfolk County Engineering Department, the Board of Commissioners votes to authorize the chairman to sign the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Department of Transportation Highway Division attestation sheets as they are received to confirm that the Mass Dot written instrument and plans have been filed in the county commissioner's records as per provisions under Mass General Law, Chapter 39, Section 83.
Chapter 79,
Right.
Chapter 83. Yes. Okay. Motions are
I'm
made.
sorry, Chapter 79 and Chapters 83.
Okay.
Right.
Motion's been
Okay.
made.
Yep, I'll second that. That's fine.
Okay. All in favor?
All
say
in
aye.
favor?
Yep,
Aye.
aye.
Aye, 3-0.
Okay. Report of the county director.
That's great.
Thank you,
Thank you, Patrick.
Patrick.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Patrick.
commissioners.
That's good.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You
Okay,
too.
Patrick, happy
All the
Thanksgiving.
best. Thank you, Patrick. That's good. Okay.
So,
Yep.
a few items. Just a reminder to those listening, department heads and so forth, you have a December 5th deadline to submit any transfer or supplemental request needs to Phil and Tosca for consideration at the upcoming advisory board on December 18th.
Right.
I wanted to alert anyone listening, as well as the commissioners, that letters to all employees, volunteers, and retirees have been sent out to home addresses through our insurance company relative to the recent cybersecurity incident. This particular letter, signed by myself electronically, directs a benefit to alerts individuals of potential possible personal information release, and it gives individuals access to, I believe it's 24 months of free services as described in the letter. If anyone has any questions associated with the letter, please call me directly. We'll be happy to address any concerns you might have.
Mr. Cronin,
Yeah.
John, I accidentally shredded that with a whole bunch of, this time of year I get a lot of mail, and a lot of it's, let's say, junk mail.
You need a letter.
Yeah, I
I'll
need a
take care of
copy of that. I saw a pile, I go, oh my God, I didn't want to get rid of it. I need a copy of that one.
No
please.
problem at all.
Thank you.
We've already done the ARPA pieces. I wanted to thank Maureen McEwen, who is beginning her second week with us. Maureen went down to the schools yesterday, just reporting to the commissioners also as trustees. She had a very productive meeting with senior staff, including the superintendent, business manager, principal, and others, regarding her view on procurement, introducing herself. John Martin characterized it as a great meeting, and he's very much looking forward to working with Maureen going forward. Let's see. Today you approved the blue papers of Mr. Lovelace, who you will hopefully see soon, if not next week. He's starting on December 5th. I'm sure you're looking forward to meeting him. And then finally, just a reminder, on December 11th, you'll have a meeting with Paul Connors from the Retirement Board. Paul's going to come in and talk a little bit about the progress they're making on the actuarial tables that caused some consternation a few weeks ago and what the retirement board folks would do looking ahead. Paul stopped by this morning, provided me some documentation that I asked him for that hopefully will give me some insight to help us for a productive dialogue in a couple of weeks. So I just want to let you know you'll be seeing Paul then. That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Collins.
I would say on that note, there'll be a pretty good discussion with Paul, because it's certainly now on the radar of a lot of communities that belong to the retirement system because of the action that we collectively took to push it to 2032. So a lot of, a lot of,
There's some numbers in there, though, Commissioner Stady, that are quite troubling, at least the ones that were drafted by the current actuary, and they just scream for more detail, more answers. So Paul's committed to helping us get there.
okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay, item 17, emergency items, topics that the chair did not reasonably anticipate would be discussed.
I don't know.
Nothing?
If I could, before we
Sure.
close,
Yeah.
I just wanted to say a couple of quick things on behalf of all of us. A lot of times we all are honored to serve in this role, and we all get a chance to do a variety of different good things. And sometimes it's upsetting, and sometimes it isn't. It has challenges like any job. But today was a really good day to be a commissioner or a trustee, to attend on behalf of the board the ceremony for Betty Duquette. It was a wonderful ceremony. It was well attended. It was a great crowd there. Alumni showed up. Former teachers showed up to show the love for this person, and such a wonderful, gentle person, to have the dedication. And it came out great, too. When you see it, you'll be impressed. The lettering on it stands out. It's good quality. I just want to say it was a great thing to be a commissioner and trustee and to represent you guys. It was a wonderful ceremony. Chairman Yorkis read the proclamation from the commissioners. She was so grateful for that, so grateful and so moved. And she wanted to convey through me to you her deep appreciation about both of you guys, and again for your support you've given her and the honor you bestowed. So thank you. Okay, well done. Wonderful day.
Joe, anything you want to add?
No, I'm all set. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir.
Happy
And to you and
Thanksgiving to
yours.
everyone.
You as
Yes.
well. Thank you.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll move it at after 12:02.
I'll
Motion
second
to
the motion to
Okay,
adjourn.
motion is made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
All right.
Opposed, unanimous. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving.
Very
Thank
good.
you very much.